6 days away from college football, MarkRogersTV as we continue to pound through Power 5 conference schedules across America. We've got two left in the Big 12 to get to, and Iowa State is one of them. I don't have a whole lot to say about the Iowa State schedule. I want to talk to Iowa State fans of the Cyclones. Why is this school playing football? And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just wondering, what are the expectations of the athletic department, the administration, the fans, and also the football program itself, the coach? If you take a job at Iowa State as head football coach, what are you trying to accomplish besides setting yourself up a la Gene Chizik, despite going 5-19 for the next job? Let's knock through the schedule, and then I'd love to get the comments from Iowa State fans. Are you looking to seriously compete in the Big 12? I know that's the dream. Is that realistic? We've seen a few football teams throughout the years at Iowa State win 7 football games, 8 football games, get to bowl games from time to time. They don't win consistently, and they don't win big. They never have. There are few programs amongst the Power 5 conferences with this type of resume. It's Kansas, it's Indiana in the Big 10. It's really nobody in the ACC now that Duke's winning, or at least has won in the past year at 10-4. In the SEC, it's Kentucky. In the Pac-12, it's really no one because Cal's horrible right now, but they've won in the past. Okay, so again, Iowa State, let's look at the schedule. And beware, Game 1 is against North Dakota State, who upset Kansas State 24-21 last year. So that's how it starts for the Cyclones. No gimmes on the schedule. The 3 out-of-conference games, again, North Dakota State, he said, against Iowa State on August 30th, the upsetter of Kansas State last season, a pretty good football team. Next out-of-conference game comes weeks later against Iowa, a couple weeks later. Got to play that game. That's a good game for college football, specifically in the state of Iowa. Iowa State. I've been surprised over the years how well Iowa State has fared in this matchup, because Iowa State is clearly the inferior football program year in, year out. Iowa's been fringe top 25 and fringe top 10 at times. Check out the history under Kirk Ferentz. Iowa's been a much better football program. But typically, off the top of my head, my numbers might be wrong. I haven't looked it up. I would say Iowa typically wins this 6 or 7 out of 10 years. It's not a slam dunk like 9 out of 10. Win it 6 or 7 times out of 10. Iowa State even has beaten some good Iowa teams that have gone on to finish in the top 10 or 15. Okay, so that's the second game of the season. We're looking at the non-conference, and then they've got a game against Toledo. That's homecoming on October 11th. And those are the 3 non-conference games for Iowa State. They need to go 2-1. They could go 3-0. They could go 1-2. Who knows? Iowa State looking for some wins here. Non-conference again, we would expect at 2-1. Okay, let's look through the Big 12. And much respect to the Big 12 Conference, and this is by default, not by design, so I shouldn't respect them too much after losing a few teams, gaining TCU, having only 10 teams, and not being able to play a conference championship game. Therefore, with a 9-game season, everybody plays everybody. It's the most legitimate conference championship in college football, playing everyone in the conference. I love it. That said, Iowa State plays 5 games at home. So that's really the only discrepancy in the schedule, the only somewhat unfair aspect of the schedule, because you play 9 games. You have to play 5 either at home or on the road, and 4 either at home or on the road. So for Iowa State, they play 5 at home, which is good news. The first one against Kansas State, not good news. The second one against Baylor, not good news. Those are the first 2 games in the Big 12 for Iowa State, Kansas State and Baylor. Then they go on the road to Oklahoma State. They go on the road to Texas. I think they're 0-4 at this point. They come back home for Oklahoma, 0-5. Then they take on Kansas. Okay, got to reel that one in. Got to go on the road, knock off Charlie Weiss's Jayhawks. Got to get the W there against the Jayhawks. Then it's Texas Tech at home. Could pull off the upset. I doubt it, but could pull off the upset. It's West Virginia at home. Okay, win one of those 2. Texas Tech and West Virginia at home before finishing up on the road against TCU. Best case scenario for Iowa State, unless I'm completely missing it, and you can certainly tell me if I am, because I am no follower of Iowa State football in particular. Try to follow everyone. 2-6 in the Big 12, and 4-8 overall is what I'm looking at here. I think it could be as bad as 2-10 and 1-8 in the conference, or when I said 2-6, I meant 2-7, 1-8 in the Big 12, and maybe 1-2 outside of conference. So 2-10 is the basement, I would hope, for the Iowa State team, and the ceiling is probably 5-7. 5-7 for Iowa State. That's the goal. Of course, if they can get one more, then they get to bowl eligibility. All right. We're almost done with the Big 12. Iowa State fans, chime in with your thoughts on the 2014 campaign right here on Mark Rogers TV.